Hello, Cyan Roses, Mr. Gadgeton here. I have a book titled A Peacock Among Pigeons. Now, this is one of my favorite books, but I don't think I had a chance to read it with you this year. So I wanted to make this video so that I could read it with you now. It is called A Peacock Among Pigeons, written by Tyler Curry. One of my favorite books. My name is Peter, and I was born a peacock. Don't ask me how it happened, but somehow, some way, I grew up in a flock of pigeons. And being a peacock in a family of pigeons isn't easy at all. You see, pigeons don't always like others who are different. Sometimes pigeons can treat other birds like they're not good enough just because they don't look the same or fly the same. They can call them names and make them feel like they are strange, weird, or they don't belong. My pigeon flock thought I walked funny. They thought I talked funny. And they said my feathers were too colorful for a boy bird like me. And when you grow up with no other peacocks around, it can be easy to think they're right. I spent a long time hiding my colorful feathers and pretending I was a pigeon. I tucked my feathers away and covered myself with mud and dirt to hide my bright colors. Oh, do you think Peter should hide his bright colors? I walked upright like a pigeon, I puffed out my chest like a pigeon, and I kept my tail from swishing and swaying so no one would notice how different I was. But it was no use. Oh man, poor Peter. Whenever I relaxed one of my flashy feathers would slip out. Everyone would notice, point, and laugh. My pigeon friends would call me names. They would pretend to walk like me and make fun of my voice. Even though I acted like them, any beak with two eyes could see I didn't belong. Oh dear, think about how you would be a better friend to Peter than these pigeons. One day when no pigeons were around, I walked by a puddle and looked at my reflection. The bird I saw looking back was an ugly bird who was flashy, flamboyant, and embarrassing. I thought my blues were too blue, my greens were too green, and my gold hues were far too girly for a boy bird to have. Oh no. I wonder, what nest do you think Peter would fit in with at Springwoods? I believed what the other pigeons said, and I didn't like the bird staring back at me. But there was no use trying to be a pigeon because I'd never be able to change my feathers. It was time to fly out on my own. It sounds like Peter needs some good friends, don't you think? At first, my journey was a lonely one. But one day, I met a cardinal named Craig. He was sassy and bold. He told me funny stories that made me laugh and laugh. He didn't seem to mind being around a peacock like me. Craig might be a good friend. Craig introduced me to his canary friend, Sarah. Sarah was very friendly and had a sing-song voice that made me smile. Do you know what she told me? She thought my feathers were beautiful. They are beautiful, aren't they? They are. So beautiful, in fact, she wanted to introduce me to Owen the owl. Owen was smart. Owen was sophisticated. Owen moved like no bird I had ever seen before. He said he liked the way I moved, too. Oh, how wonderful. Peter's finding friends. Craig, Sarah, and Owen introduced me to more of their friends, each unique and beautiful in their own way. I wonder who else we will meet. There was Fanny the flamingo, who made even me feel plain and ordinary with her dazzling pinks and whites. There was Henry the hummingbird, who never finished a sentence before fluttering away. There was Benny the blue jay, who was the fastest bird I'd ever seen. And there was Penny the parrot, who was very nice and loved to talk. Do any of these birds remind you of you or any of your friends? There were so many different birds, some bold, some sweet, some smart, and some funny, but each one was special in their own way. On one very special day, I came upon a beautiful bird I had never seen before. He had the brightness of yellow, like Sarah, my canary friend, the boldness of blue, like Benny the blue jay. His tail swished back and forth like he was dancing, and his feathers had a beautiful starry glow. On the very top of his head, he had a funny crown of feathers that fluttered about. He was the most beautiful bird I had ever seen. I just had to take a closer look, so I took a few steps closer, but the beautiful bird disappeared. Instead, I saw the ripples of the puddle I had just stepped in. Who was Peter looking at? Do you know? I have an idea. I squinted my eyes in disbelief. It was my own reflection. But could it really be me? For so long, I saw what the pigeons saw, and although my feathers never changed, I saw myself differently after meeting new birds who were special and liked me for the peacock I am. Oh, how wonderful. Oh, look at the picture. Let's turn the page. I wasn't just a silly blue bird with flashy feathers and a funny walk. My flamboyant tail filled with bright colors no longer embarrassed me, and I didn't want to be just like the rest of my pigeon flock. I was happy to be me. Oh, what an important lesson to learn. It is important to be uniquely you, because that's what makes you special. Whether you are as bright as a canary, as cool as a cardinal, or as flashy as a flamingo, your feathers are what make you special. So embrace who you are from beak to bird feet, and never let anyone break your stride. And always remember to love the feathers you were born with. Peter the Peacock. Oh, I haven't read this book in a long time, and I was so happy to have the chance to read it with you. It just makes me so happy. So I hope you enjoyed this book, My Cyan Roses. This was A Peacock Among Pigeons. And remember, keep on reading. See you later.